Hello and welcome, Semifinal Postgame Show. I think this is my debut on the Postgame Show, actually, for the season. Pregame. See, I'm on the wrong show. Welcome to the Semifinal Pregame Show, presented by DJ Steo, Greg and Connor. It's like every night this week we lose an analyst. So we're down to two. We'll see if there's even one left for next week. But again, presented by DJ Steo. Comment your questions in below if you're watching us live, and we'll take those. But let's get to the semifinal matchups and preview those for you. There's written previews up on the site. They've been up all day. They went up this morning. Brotherhood, the 2 seed, and the 3 seed no. We need to start the whole show over. 2 seed no limit. That was a Freudian slip because those guys like to bust balls. 2 seed no limit, 3 seed the Brotherhood. First up at 8 o'clock. I'm interested to a key to that one. They did already play in Week 8. I can let you guys go into that one. We have some stats from that game and what will need to change from that one if the Brotherhood is going to pull this one out. They did lose in Week 8.
Yeah, it's going to be, these guys are two rivals, so I expect, a really heated matchup that's going to come down to the wire. Me and Greg would say it's going to be a hard-fought battle right to the end. And we're looking back at the statistics from the last game, it really tells a story about the way that game went. Howie Miller didn't hit a 3 the entire game. That's not like himself. The entire no-limit team was inefficient from 3. I think they only hit 3 threes the entire game as a team, which is one of the most efficient teams from outside. That was a real surprise to me. And Robles was a non-factor for the Brotherhood. And it was essentially the Russ Payton, Mike Davis show all the way to the end. And that's kind of the way I'm expecting it to be again this week. I mean, how else are they going to be able to pull out a win? I already chose them to be in the final. So I'm expecting Russ and Mike to go off. And Ty Sands was the key in the last one. He was by far the best player in that game individually. He's going to have to play another huge piece, especially if I hear rumors that Jalen Graham might not show up tonight.
Wow. Yeah, I agree. I think Ty Sands is a huge factor, especially if Jalen's not going. I mean, it's going to be that's a big loss for them. But, I mean, I think you mentioned it, Rashawn Hendricks and Ty Sands, they can carry that load and pick it up. I mean, I definitely am looking for more out of Jonathan Robles, 4 points, and he made all 4 of his shots. So I don't know what that was. I mean, you said it, No Limit shot 3 for 20 from 3 in that game, and they won.
Yeah.
So if Howie Miller starts off hot, it's going to be a long night for the Brotherhood. They just need to limit his possessions, hand in the face at all times, and just not let him get open look. Because once we've seen it before, once Howie Miller starts shooting and starts hitting, it's going to be a long day for no matter who they're playing. So I think a big key in this is if Howie Miller is hot or if he's having a rough night.
Yeah, and as always, comment in below. That's what I'm trying to set up over here while these guys talk so eloquently about the games. Howie Miller definitely will need to get going. I think that's a huge part, and when he does get going, watch out. Yeah. The second semifinal at 9 o'clock tonight. Top-seeded Monstars, 4th-seeded Team Moose. Now, you guys were even mentioning when we came here tonight, you were looking more forward to that one because those teams haven't played before. Two very different styles, I think. And I'm going to let you guys chime in on that. But what are you expecting in a first-time matchup between the top-seeded Monstars and undefeated, I should mention, against the 4th-seeded Team Moose, who boasts 2 losses on their record? Only one of them is a legit loss to No Limit. I mean, they forfeited a game on a holiday weekend, so they could be 8-1. So one real loss for Moose against the undefeated Monstars. What are we looking for?
Yeah, this is an intriguing matchup, like Joey basically just highlighted for us. It's really going to come down to the fact that the Monsters are a team that's a little bit top heavy. They're still really deep. I still really think they have a really solid bench, but it's going to be those forefront guys, the Langston brothers, Reggie Stewart. Those are the guys you expect to step up and take on a big piece. So with Team Moose, you can't look at their points too much and take too much away from that because it's really whoever touches the ball last on their offensive possession that's going to get the points. They move the ball so well. They're so fluid offensively. They're so unselfish. And Brad Seaman is the floor general out there. I know he doesn't play point guard, but he's always shouting out everything for his team. He's always calling out screens. He's telling people to push the floor, telling them to always play their tough defense. That's their brand of basketball. So I really like the dynamics of these two teams. It's you got tons of star power on the Monstars versus one of the best fluid, most solid overall teams in the league. So I really like the way that's going to shape up.
Yeah, and it's a funny story. We were talking to the ref, and the ref said to us, "No way Moose can compete with the Monstars." And then they watched them play Flint Tropics, and he said, "Wow!" Like he was surprised. He compared them to, in his own words, the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Joey said it. I'm really interested to see this game. We've seen No Limit and the Brotherhood play multiple times in finals. They all know each other. And that's going to be a great game. But this game brings something fresh, something new, defense, new faces. You got arguably the Rookie of the Year, Greg Langston. And I don't even know how to analyze this game because I'm just so excited. I want to see how the two teams react to each other on the court. You got the Mooses, maybe the best defense we've ever seen, and then you got the Monstars, who have maybe the most productive offense we've ever seen. So it's going to be a fun one.
I think in this one, both teams are equally deep. I think they go 5, 6, 7 deep in some cases. I already know Ty Alston has been posting it's Reggie time, which it's that time of year. The semifinals last year, actually, we were talking about this before too. Reggie went for 40+ against the Serial Killers, including 11 in the last 2 minutes to bury Mike Davis and the Serial Killers, the undefeated Serial Killers at the time. So now he's on the undefeated team back in the semifinals, trying to do it once again. I expect him to start. I think Reggie's going to be a bigger part of this team than you guys may have seen all season, and I think that's going to be a huge key. Will the length bother him? And Reggie's long himself, but will the Moose length bother him enough to limit him? It's a tough task.
That's a really good point, actually. I mean, you think about Kevin Blake and Brad Seaman and all these guys. You know, Reggie can rebound with the best of them, but a lot of the times he's rebounding is against these smaller guards. And now these are, I mean, Brad, whenever someone is lazy, not playing defense, not boxing out, you can hear him from the other side of the country. He's that loud. And he's really their true, like Connor said, he's their leader. I mean, I really think without him, Team Moose isn't Team Moose, with all due respect to their team. They're an extremely talented team, but he's the leader that kind of keeps them together. When they're fooling around, he brings them back together. And, I mean, I think that much and that length is definitely going to be interesting to see how Reggie kind of changes his game and reacts to that length.
Yeah, and we were just watching some of the clips from last year's finals, and we saw Reggie with Jalen Graham, that matchup. I'm loving this matchup with what I expect to be Reggie and Connor Daly. That should be an unbelievable matchup. Both guys can jump out the gym. Both guys are really athletic players who like getting to the basket and showing off those hops. And they're really good distributors with the ball. They like getting their team involved, but I think that it's like you said, if Reggie's going to go off tonight, Connor Daly is going to be, in the spotlight. Can you stop him? Are you really that elite defensive player that we've seen all year? I think this is going to be that time where both these guys show out, and it's going to be a true battle, like we said, between the elite offense and the elite defense.
A Defensive Player of the Year award could be earned tonight.
Right, definitely.
That's right. Again, you can comment in some questions. I don't know if anybody's actually watching us live, so it happens. But hey, this will be up on Facebook. So I would like you guys, before we get to the picks, usually... Yeah, the game picks. Wow, and then I'm going to talk about basketball picks. Usually you can set a screen on Reggie's guy, right?
Yeah.
And get a switch, and it's usually a matchup that will favor Reggie. Today, I don't know if that's the case.
Yeah.
The Team Moose will switch everything, and they'll switch it confidently, almost willingly, because they know the length and size they have. Let's get to those picks, though. The 8 o'clock, No Limit, is the 2 seed. Before I botch that again. And the Brotherhood, the 3 seed. A rematch, as we mentioned. Who do you guys have, and why?
Yeah, I picked the Brotherhood in this one. I already said it earlier in the show. You can already look at my bracket, and I'm pretty much exposed at this point. But I talked about it, how I really like Mike Davis. We were talking about his handles and how he might have arguably the best handle in the league. He breaks defenders down. We saw him even take a player as good as Eric Singleton and show him up a little bit on the defensive end of the floor. So I just love Mike Davis. I think that he's got an unbelievable three-point shot as well that he supplements with that handle. If you give him any space, he's going to make you pay. And at the same time, we've already shown in the top 5, this guy can dunk at the rim. So I think he's going to be the pivotal game changer tonight, and it's no surprise. I mean, it's basically saying, like LeBron's going to go off tonight. It's Mike Davis. So I just that's the guy I'm going with when I pick the Brotherhood.
While I can't argue with Mike Davis, I mean, the stats don't lie, but I did pick No Limit as my champion, so obviously I have to go No Limit, and I'm picking them just because I believe in No Limit as a team. I think that in the end, it's been, is this the 4th season we're at now?
Yeah.
I think 4th time is the charm. I think this is the time, and this is the year when No Limit gets a ring, and I just think they have the depth, they have the talent, and they have the motivation where a lot of these teams have a lot of motivation. They want to prove everyone wrong. They want to do this and that. But I feel like No Limit has motivation from losing to the Brotherhood in the summer seasons or losing to Run TMC last year. I think there's a lot of motivation that kind of escapes the basketball court, and also it changes to a mental game. And I feel like they have just been waiting for this moment to get back to a finals. And I think beating the Brotherhood would be even sweeter for them. So as much as it kills me to go against Mike Davis, because I know it might kill me in the end, I'm going to go No Limit.
We have Ty Alston and Larry Little watching. They can comment in a question as we get to their game. Monstars and Team Moose. Again, these teams haven't played, so I think there's a lot of unknowns, which is going to be awesome to watch play out. We've wanted to see the Monstars tested, right? and I think this qualifies as a test. We'll get to what's the better game in a second. I love it. First, let's get to your game picks, even if you keep them short. Monstars, Moose.
Yeah, I went Monstars in this one. It's nothing against Team Moose, and I'm not going to lie, I've seen Team Moose more and more since I made my initial pick, and they're making me second guess a little bit, but at the same time, I'm staying confident, sticking with the Langston Bros and Reggie Stewart in this one.
I'm just going to go with the best player on the court should pull it out, and I think that's Greg Langston, and I think that the Monstars in the end will pull it out, although I will say that Team Moose, if they can limit Greg Langston, which no one has been able to do this year, that would be huge for them.
Yeah. And I think if anybody has the bodies to do it, will Trevor Chavez be here?
True.
Dan Native has been around and been a huge body, so they'll need all those guys. What's the better game tonight? And we don't just have to appease our fans here from the Monstars, but what do you think is going to be the better game?
I already know he's going to say Monstars Moose, so do a little bit Stephen A. and Max here, and I'll take the contrary and say No Limit Brotherhood. These teams are so storied. There's a history behind. This is like Yankees Red Sox of Legacy Leagues, if we want to go there. This is just going to be, we've all been waiting for this rematch since week 8, when we saw these teams match up at the end of the regular season, but now their seasons are on the line. Both these teams knew that they had an extra life after that game. They're still going to be around. Now these teams are playing to stay in it and go to the championship. They're fighting for everything at this point. So I just love the stakes, and I think that you're going to get an even more intense matchup than we saw in Week 8, which was a 2-point game. So I think it's going to be a great one. So let's hear you and why Moose Monstars is going to be better.
I cannot argue with that, as he was talking about my champion, but I will say that I think the Moose Monstars is the more intriguing game, just for the fact that you are probably the best defense statistically against a top 3 offense. You got a player who is in the MVP race in Greg Langston against a defender who could be Defensive Player of the Year and arguably an MVP candidate. So I think all the mystique, all the unknowns, we know what we're getting with Terrell versus Russ. We know what we're getting with Mike for Howie. We know what we're getting with that.
Right.
But with the Moose and the Monstars, this is new. This is fresh, new bodies. I want to see what the bench is. I'm really interested. Can Jay Joyce or Jay Davis or someone like that, can they step up in a game like this? And I just think all those storylines, while it's not like No Limit Brotherhood's a bad game by any means.
No.
But
1A, 1B.
Exactly. I just think Moose and Monstars are something fresher.
Yeah.
Even in that 1A and 1B scenario, one is better still in that case. So you can say it however you want. We have great games across the board tonight, according to Larry. We couldn't agree more. They have the history, even Larry says, about No Limit and the Brotherhood. They actually squared off in the Fall 16 finals. The Brotherhood won that one, their second straight title. And now they've been beaten by No Limit. So it is a bit of a grudge match with everything on the line. Best Final Four yet? I'd say so.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's all top seeds.
Absolutely.
Right. And I'm a little biased to the last 2 Final Fours, but I agree. On the court, there is some great action tonight. Any other things? Did you throw out your Howie and Rel stat?
Yeah, they only.
I was listening. I promise.
Yeah, they only combined for 21 points last time, and Howie didn't hit a 3, so that was something that they're going to have to totally change. I mean, they still won, which is unbelievable how they did that. But they're against the Brotherhood team tonight that's playing for their lives, like we said. They're going to need more.
I mean, yeah, if Howie Miller is shooting, that's the difference.
Yeah.
I mean, this No Limit team, when Howie Miller is shooting the ball well, is completely different. Once Howie gets cold, they kind of become stagnant. And I mean, you could argue this Final Four is maybe the most talented Final Four we've ever had.
I don't know what this comment says. Reggie's something in the semifinals. Reggie's saving him for the semifinals, maybe. We'll go with that.
I can believe that.
We're gonna need him. We're gonna need him. Yeah, we were talking about last year's semis too, and what he did to knock off Mike Davis, who's on the other side of the bracket. So 2 great games at 8 and 9 o'clock tonight. The winners will play Tuesday at 9 p.m. We have All-Star Night Monday, 3-point at 7, dunk at 7:30, and the All-Star Game at 8. All that will be hosted by DJ Steo. This show has been brought to you by DJ Steo. For the 2 analysts, they will be back on Monday. Whether that's good or bad is something we'll still have to figure out. But we'll see you in a little while, about 45 minutes, as the semifinals will be underway. 8 o'clock at InSports. We will see you then.